Sorry, a fire where? Flat 16 Grenfell Tower.
3 years ago today, 72 people were killed in a fire that destroyed Grenfell Tower.
3 years ago, those people were with us, members of our community, going about their daily business, taking the children to school, going shopping, and they are not with us now.
An inquiry has shown this tragedy could have been prevented. But 3 years on, many of the community feel they have little to show for it.
It's too little and it's too long. It's been a very tardy process, and we actually have nothing tangible at the moment to hold on to say as a result of the inquiry, X or Y has changed.
So what has happened over the past 3 years?
I am today ordering a full public inquiry.
Prime Minister Theresa May ordered an inquiry the day after the incident, promising no stone would be left unturned. Phase 1 would look at events on the night. Its findings were published in October 2019. Phase 2 would investigate the wider situation, commencing in January 2020.
We actually feel that it was put on a path to blame the firefighters, because they started with what happened on the night, whereas if they'd started with what led up, actually things like institutional indifference and institutional discrimination would have been flagged as the most important things, because those residents told the council for years that their homes was unsafe. There was a problem with the refurbishment and they were not listened to.
Phase 1 found, while the firefighters showed courage, the London Fire Brigade suffered significant systemic failing by insisting residents stay put, rather than evacuating while there was still a clear escape.
If I had not listened to the fire brigade, my son would have been likely alive today.
But the brigade had never been trained for evacuations of this kind, because a tower block fire shouldn't spread that fast.
I told you, get up. You know, we've now discovered a horrendous miscalculation.
This spread was blamed on cladding that had been installed in a recent refurbishment implicating companies Ryden and Arconic. Significantly, these hearings also exonerated Behelu Kubedi, the man in whose flat the fire started. While Phase 1 had identified the immediate causes, it opened another question. Why are tens of thousands of people living in social housing that is fatally dangerous?
So I think social inequality goes to the heart of it. There's direct link in how particular communities are treated, whether it's, the killing of George Floyd, BAME communities dying disproportionately from COVID, the Windrush scandal, all that goes. You start to kind of pull together and see how working class and BAME people in particular always come off adversely. So I think social inequality, I think privatisation of public services is a huge issue. Funding of public services. We saw it with the fire service at Grenfell, we've seen it with the NHS now.
Instead of looking at these institutional issues, the chair of the inquiry, Sir Martin Morbick, wanted to narrow the scope. With already 200,000 documents to examine, it would just take too long. Theresa May agreed. Phase 2 would look at causes singular to Grenfell.
You let the dead down, now you want to come for the living?
Now, with further delays due to COVID, many are losing faith in the process altogether.
Most people will agree that they want prosecutions. They want to see people jailed, and the inquiry isn't going to deliver that for them. So actually, rather than wait until the end of the inquiry to then consider criminal proceedings, actually, why don't we just bring the criminal proceedings forward? They will always feel an injustice if there are not prosecutions as a result of this. 72 people died.
The government will fully fund the removal and replacement of dangerous cladding.
What has changed? The London Fire Brigade Commissioner told Sky News this week a transformation plan is underway.
It involves changes to equipment, so an increased fleet of extended turntable ladders, which means we can reach further up a high-rise building, and the introduction of smokers, which means that we can bring members of the public safely down through smoke-filled lobbies, and actually since their introduction have saved the lives of 30 Londoners across, I think, approximately 20 incidents.
Earlier this year, the government set aside another £1 billion to change all dangerous cladding on high-rise buildings by this month. Last month, that deadline was scrapped. 42 towers have been stripped of the cladding, 307 remain unchanged.
For us, it was always speak out. because there are still over 20,000 people living in homes with flammable cladding on during the COVID-19 pandemic. Some people don't want to be in that very home because they don't know if they're going to wake up in the morning. Look out for us, do your job. That's all we ask.
Listen to them folks, they don't want you.